How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 3. Alright, so last time, I felt like things really got going pretty quickly, actually. We found out that Sadako is not coming to school today, or is running late, or something. Not exactly sure what's up with her. Rika was even late, so not really sure what's going on there. And we kind of got a little bit of a rundown in terms of the whole curse deal. You know, our regularly scheduled, but seemingly always getting earlier in the game, lecture on the whole deal here in this village.
どんな夢だったかは思い出せないけど、朝からずっと不安で。
さとこちゃんの元気な顔を見れたら安心するつもりだった。かな?
She was right on the money. If everyone had been here with smiles on their faces this morning, then the murk in my heart would have definitely been blown to smithereens.
じゃあ、さとこちゃんが来たら優しくしてあげることだね。いつもの悪ふざけでも一向に構わない。楽しく過ごすことができるなら。
そうだな。
So that even if these fun days came to an end, I'd have no regrets. I couldn't tell if what Rena had told me had been comforting, or just made me more anxious. But it was enough to make me think that if I saw Sadako again, I'd be honest with her. Alright. See, if only I, recorded a minute and a half more, we would have had a nice place to stop that episode. Oh well. I can never get it right. Lunchtime arrived with everyone pushing their desks together like always. Sadako wasn't here. Despite that, we had bento boxes for 5 lined up on our desks. Rika-chan had made a bento for Sadako too.
さとこ、お昼までには来るはずだったの?
Rika-chan was clearly acting strangely. We were talking to her, but it felt like she was too far away to hear us. I had never seen Rika-chan so downcast. So the rest of us started feeling down too. Hey Rena, I understood what she said, or had said before pretty well. When we were together, we were supposed to have lots of fun so we wouldn't have any regrets if the world ended tomorrow. And yet, while I just resolved myself to do it, now we can't all be together. What the hell? Because it was just so sudden, wasn't it? I mean, yesterday was fun, so who could believe it would all end today? No volcanoes had erupted, and no earthquakes or fires had happened either. The cicadas were making the same noises they did yesterday, and the sun remained bright in the sky. It was the same normal day as always. So then why? As I pondered, Rena's chopsticks reached in front of my face and stole the fried chicken out of my bento.
みんなが取らないからレナがもらうね。おいしい。
Rena tossed the entire piece into her mouth and began munching on it, her expression one of bliss.
と、おじさんとしたことが、レナに先生を許すとはね。よっしゃ、おじさんはこのプチハンバーグをもらうよ。
僕のおかずがなくなってしまうのです。
Rika-chan, also behind the curve, smiled again and went for someone else's bento. As I sat there, dazed at how quickly everyone had changed, Rena sent a wink over to me. Come on, Keiichi-kun. Live life to the fullest. That way, if a volcano erupts tomorrow, it'll be okay.
冗談じゃねえ。最後の弁当が梅干しとご飯だけになってたまるか。それ、俺はミートボールをいただくぞ。
I stuffed the meat into my mouth and constructed a clumsy smile. I played along as if trying to fool myself. But as I did, it rapidly became less and less of an act. Sadako still wasn't here, but at some point we had regained our lively lunchtime. We had fun, we smiled, and we fooled around. Thanks, everyone. This was definitely the best thing to do. This way, when Sadako suddenly dropped by, we could welcome her with our best smiles. The more I smiled, the more I felt the anxiety from this morning clearing away. I wish it was that easy, you know?
あるね。それが事実なら、おじさんは四六時中笑い転げてるよ。
レナは本当だと思うな。毎日笑ってれば、毎日が楽しいよ。レナがいいことを言いますです。
じゃあ、試してみるか。
Everyone took a deep breath, then brought their faces together, locking shoulders. And then... well, that felt really forced. Everyone laughed uproariously from their stomachs, trying to laugh out all the bad stuff accumulating in them. By the time our bento boxes were empty, everyone was right as rain. Yeah, I'm sure that'll last. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, we're so early in, and I feel like things are already going to be taking the downward slope. Oh boy. Having heard our friendly banter, Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun walked up and timidly spoke to us.
前原さん、楽しくお話中、申し訳ないんですけど、ちょっとお力をお借りしたくて。
They grinned dryly and scratched their heads.
なんだよ一体。テストの対策法は以前教えただろ。
Wait, there's a way to do that?
ちなみに、千恵先生が授業中、と含み笑いを教科書で隠した時が次のテスト範囲だ。
そうなんですか？
That's not what we're here for, said Tomita-kun, elbowing Okumura-kun.
実はですね、ボールが2階の雨どいに引っかかっちゃったんですよ。
What the fuck?
前原さんなら身長高いからなんとかなるんじゃないかと思って。
ほう、先輩に物を頼むからには何か見返りがあるんだろうな。俺は高いぜ。簡単に買収できると思うなよ。
Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun conversed for a short time, and then gave their reply.
では、前原さんには授業中に居眠りができる権利を与えましょう。それでどうです？
なんだそりゃ。授業中に寝るのは俺の勝手だろ。なんでお前らに権利をもらわなくちゃならんのだ。
Has all rat us
そ
out?
んなことないですよ。今度は前原さんが居眠りしたら全部先生に言いつけることにしますから。なるほど、うまいうまい。
こいつらとんでもない交渉の仕方覚えやがって。
すみません。ちょっとした冗談っす。ほらほらゲイちゃん、おとなしく後輩たちの脅迫に屈したら。
And now Mion was getting on my nerves. Suddenly it came to me, and I took Tomita-kun and Okumura-kun's hands.
わかった。俺の降参だ。ボールを取ってやるから居眠りの権利を俺にくれ。見ろミオン、俺はちゃんと権利をもらったぞ。でもお前はもらってないよな。富田君、岡村君、ミオンが居眠りしたらすぐにチクれ。いいな。
Haha, we turned the tables. Rena and Rika-chan began to cackle at Keiichi-kun's victory. I wasn't sure how the ball managed to get stuck up there, but it was planted firmly in the school building's second floor gutter.
その棒を貸せ。俺なら多分届く。よいしょっと。
I took a bamboo pole and poked the ball with it. Damn, it's hard. Come on.
取れた。取れましたよ、前原さん。どうもありがとうございました。
The ball rolled down the gutter and fell down behind the school building. My underclassmen ran over in that direction, leaving me by myself. Mission complete, I guess. Sheesh. There was still a lot of time left. Excuse me, I almost died. Left until break was over. Lunch break was over. Ugh. Guess I should go back to the classroom. I'd absorb myself in a silly conversation with everyone and wait for afternoon classes. Just when I thought that and turned towards the entrance, someone suddenly called out to me. Who is it? Oh.
どうもこんにちは。お昼休み中すみませんね。
Bro, it's too early for this. What's going on? The fucking festival hasn't even happened yet. It was a middle-aged man I didn't know. Or maybe I'd passed him by a few times, and I'd seen his face, but I didn't know him. When his half-smile deepened, something within me shuddered with fear. There was no basis for that, no reason, but I shuddered. I was somewhat confused about those emotions. not quite understanding them myself. There was one thing I could say though. Nobody but teachers and students should be at school. This person shouldn't have been here. I felt less of a tremble and more of a sense of dread, like a caterpillar, brilliantly colored in a garish, bilious greens, crawling across my forehead. A feeling of disgust that neither itchy nor gross could describe as frizzly, dreadful hair rubbed against my brow. I didn't even want to see his face. I wanted to jump backwards and run away. An unpleasant feeling, for which I didn't know the cause. The other side of myself has nothing but questions. Hey, what are you doing? What are you disgusted by? This is the first time you've met him, and it's rude to hate someone for no reason. No answers were coming. I held my silence, waiting, a damp sweat running down my forehead. When he saw that, Ushi thought maybe he was being intimidating and gave me a relaxed smile. No honorific there.
失礼しました。怪しいもんじゃないんですよ。私、沖宮警察署から参りました。大石と申します。あれ、手帳どこかな。あれ参ったな。ありゃ
He fished through various pockets and then finally found his police ID and showed it to me, grinning dryly. He may have been trying to use those clumsy-seeming actions to ease my anxiety, but I could definitely say it didn't work. Why was I this nervous? There was a reason, of course. If I wanted today to be the same as before, then today didn't need someone who hadn't been here back then. The fact that a man who wasn't here yesterday showed up today meant that today would be a different day than those before it. That would mark the end of the fun and happy days. I gulped and erased the ominous conclusion from my mind. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. It's just an old guy who looks kind of perverted and came from the police department. Don't go deciding that the fun times are over. He just came here because of his job. Yeah, just for his job. If he's working, then he would normally go to the teacher's lounge, right? The fact that he spoke to me, yes. It must have been to ask where it was.
職員室をお探しですか？なら、あそこの昇降口から入って。
I didn't want to look at this man for another second, so I started pushing things along. Ushi, however, didn't seem to have any interest in the teacher's lounge.
いえ。職員室にはそんなに用事はないんです。それより、お友達を呼んでもらいたいんですが、お願いできますかね？
お友達？誰です？
Rika.
女の子です。北条聡子さんを呼んできてもらえませんか？
My consciousness grew faint, like I was about to pass out. Yeah, my anxiety was realized. The dreadful, disgusting caterpillar was looking at me, about to crawl into my ear. Its frizzly, dreadful hair was touching my ear cavity. That's how bad it felt.
警察が聡子に何の用ですか？
いえ。大した用事じゃないんです。2、3聞きたいことがありまして、ご協力をいただければ嬉しいんですがね。
Why? Why of all people was it Sadako? Why would a police officer come here in the middle of the day for something that wasn't important? This man was strange. I could smell it. Why is it that we can smell it? And it smelled bad, just a whiff of it made me want to grimace. I knew that this man couldn't possibly be here to deliver her lost wallet or anything. I couldn't imagine what he needed from Sadako, but it had to be something unpleasant. My throat stung with burning pain, burned like a parched, creviced wasteland. The wasteland broke apart deep in my throat and brought out the words from deep in my mind.
あんたに用はあっても、聡子にはないと思います。
Yeah, give him that
帰ってくれ
sass.
ませんか？
She probably hadn't expected that reply. He stood there surprised for a few moments. I did as well. I hadn't thought words like that could ever come out of my mouth. Things might still work out. This guy may have shown up out of the blue, but if I drove him off, maybe I can make it so that it never happened. If I could do that, then I could get back. The peace we had until yesterday, I could get it back.
これは手厳しいな。 あなた、さとこさんのマネージャーさんですかな？アポイントメントがないと面会は叶いませんか？
話がしたいだけなら電話ですればいいじゃないですか。日中学校にまで押しかけてくるなんて明らかに異常です。
Breaking through a dam would have been the perfect analogy to use. Yeah, fitting for this place. Why didn't I like this man? This man shouldn't have been here. I needed to make it so that this man wasn't here. Childish, selfish emotions bubbled up from the depths of my mind, and they each came out of my mouth just as it had been formed. Not liking this guy was my own problem, but to say things so bluntly to him, even I thought I was crazy.
ありゃ、いちいち正論な方ですね。
On occasion.
こういう言い方をする人は苦手なんだよな。
Higurashi grinned and scratched at his sweaty throat. Even as he feigned stupidity, I could tell he was irritated. Hey, Keiichi Maibara, why am I looking for a fight with this old policeman here? It's not like he brought the gift of misfortune with him all wrapped up in paper, right? Right? It wasn't like he had brought a package of misfortune with him and was asking me to sign here, please. Rationally speaking, I understood all that, so then why was I so... Finally, I outlasted Higurashi in our game of silence, and he gave a big sigh. Then he addressed a few of my female underclassmen running around nearby.
もしもし、君たち、ちょっといいですかな。北条聡子さんを呼んできてほしいんですがね。
My underclassmen tried to smile in reply, but they noticed the oddly stiff air atmosphere around me and seemed hesitant to give a quick answer.
いませんか？北条聡子さんは。
北条さんは今日はお休みですけど。
休み。
His face remained smiling, but his tone was clearly one of ill humor. Such conspicuous spite caused my underclassmen, who had answered honestly, to cringe in fear.
そうですか。いやはやいやはや。これはついてないです。
He was smiling broadly, but the way he laughed didn't make me feel better at all. When he noticed that his laughter wasn't getting anyone else to laugh with him, he immediately stopped.
で、君たち、ここにいるお兄さんは、なんて名前か教えてくれますか？
He grabbed the girls by the shoulders so they wouldn't run away, and crouched down to address them at eye level. The girls flinched away from the sharp, piercing light in his eyes. In exchange for their release, they didn't resist and told him my name.
ほう、前原圭一さんですか。
He said my full name, and that was all he said, and yet I couldn't help but shudder. It was like he had grabbed me by the collar just with those words.
あなた、ひょっとして例の前原屋敷の御曹司。お父さん、高名な芸術家さんなんですってね。
Yeah, in a different way than I thought.
年に2回ほど東京の大展覧会に出展されてるそうじゃないですか。どんな立派な絵を描かれるかは存じませんがね。お母さんも知的そうな方じゃないですか。高学歴って聞きましたよ。どこぞの女子大を出られてるそうじゃないですか。あの年の女性で女子大でなんてすごいですよ。ひょっとしてお母さん、両家のお嬢さんなんじゃないですか。なんて噂が立ってるせいか。冷たい人だなんて噂が立てられてるなんてご存知で。
That's the first time hearing all of this about our mother.
町内会の会合、最初の1回以外は出てないでしょう。そういうのっていけないんですよね。こういう土地ではご近所付き合いをないがしろになんかできませんよ。
What is this guy trying to pull? A sense of eeriness slithered up my spine. That was my first experience of true terror. I couldn't believe it felt this terrible. For someone you've just met to know everything about you already. Higurashi clamped onto my shoulders and brought his eyes closer to peer into mine.
こういう土地ではね、敵は 作らない方が絶対にいいですよ。さもないと。
What the fuck? Ushi dug into my shoulders with inhuman strength.
思わぬところで不利益を受けるかもしれません。因果応報という言葉もありますよ。風が吹けば桶屋が儲かるの正反対です。妙なところで買った恨みが信じられないところで返ってくることがあるかもしれません。そうなったら嫌でしょ誰だって恨みなんか買いたくないんです。敵を作らないに越したことなんかない。どうしました？肩がだいぶ凝ってますね。ちょっと揉んであげましょうか。ほら、気持ちいいでしょ。
Bro, is he gonna break our shoulder or some shit? Damn, he is. This man wasn't just strong, it was like he knew exactly where to press to make me feel pain. Only 4 or 5 fingers were on my shoulders, and yet the pain made me want to bend over backwards. A few of the girls from my class were pretty shaken up, but didn't seem to want to help me. They weren't sure if they should go call the teacher. As for me, I couldn't take the time to wait until the teacher got here. It hurts.
もうそれくらいになさってください。痛がってますよ。
え？
Behind Ueshi-san, someone, to my disbelief, it was Coach.
おや、これは入江先生じゃありませんか。
Doctor?
ご無沙汰しておりますね。
Discomforted by Coach's sudden appearance, Ueshi laughed scornfully. The vise on my shoulders, however, remained as strong as ever.
挨拶はいいです。それよりも、前原くんを離してあげてください。
Ueshi smiled daringly and glared straight at Coach. He didn't release me in the meantime, of course.
先生のところにも後でお伺いしようと思っていたんですよ。いつもお忙しいとかでろくろくお話ができませんからね。
ええ、お望みとあればいくらでもお話を伺いますよ。でもその前に令状をお持ちになってください。職務質問と任意同行は拒否できますからね。
Coach didn't display a shred of the weird behavior he'd shown at the baseball game and barbecue. He stared steadily at Ueshi and fought so that he would release me. His chances were terribly bad, of course. Compared to the relaxed Ueshi, Coach seemed to be like he was being defeated mentally. It made sense. Coach had a somewhat narrow stature, but Ueshi's body was packed with muscles. If that's what you want to call it. It wasn't even a contest. But Coach was fighting for me without taking a step back. Beads of sweat formed on his face, and though he paled, he was fighting for my sake. Suddenly, Ueshi laughed and let go of my shoulders. My body exhausted, I fell right onto my backside.
前原くん、大丈夫ですか？くそ。いてててて。
I rubbed my shoulders where Ueshi had latched onto them. The pain from falling over went away quickly, and this pain was lingering.
大丈夫ですか？前原くん。ひどいことを。くそ。いててて。
ちょっと肩を揉んだだけじゃないですか。
Well, don't ever do that again, because you suck. Like you're really bad at it.
前原さんも少し大げさすぎですよ。男の子はもう少し我慢強くなくっちゃ。
I wanted to retort, but I couldn't think of anything witty.
肩は上がりますか？痛みますか？痛みが強いようなら、ちゃんと診察をした方がいい。とにかく保健室へ。
Coach lent me his shoulder and walked beside me.
大げさですね。私に限って傷が残るような真似をするわけがないじゃないですか。ねえ。私、これでも現職の警察官なんですよ。
さあ、どんなご用があったか存じませんが、もうご用がないならお帰りを。今日のことは 今度所長さんに直接抗議しますから。
それは困りますね。
Ueshi-san waved his hand sarcastically, pivoted around, and headed to the car parked by the school gates. And without turning back around, he got in and started the engine. Damn it. Who the hell was he, damn it?
あいつは、大石クランドという乱暴者でね、村中に嫌われている男です。前原さんも用心した方がいい。
I don't know how to pronounce his first name. Ueshi. Just like I thought, my gut instinct wasn't wrong. He would be the one to bring unhappiness, misfortune, something that would ruin our peace. He does seem to be the symbol of that. Shit, I won't accept it. All these fun days can't possibly end just because of some guy like him showing up. I won't accept it. Coach seemed to be familiar with the school, so he brought me to the nurse's office without much trouble. The girls from my class came along as well, looking worried. Our teacher and the principal, having noticed the disturbance, came to see what was the matter.
前原くん、どうしたんですか？怪我でも。
前原さん、さっき校庭で変なおじさんに。
Coach gently interrupted the girls trying to explain.
いえ、ちょっと転んでひねったみたいです。大丈夫だとは思いますけど、念のためと思いましてね。保健室をちょっとお借りいたします。
入江先生、よろしくお願いしますぞ。
I didn't know he was a doctor, unless I just missed that part from before. The principal gave him a deep bow. It looked like Coach was acquainted with the adults at school. He slid open the doors of the nurse's office, and there wasn't a nurse in there or anything. I'd figured. I'd never seen anybody but Chie-sensei and the principal working here. Coach didn't seem to mind the fact that there was no nurse and quickly made his way into the nurse's office. He instructed me to sit down and started washing his hands in the sink. Oh, I get it. He's the coach for the boys' baseball team. He must be pretty used to treating wounds with first aid.
ちょっと幹部を見せてもらえますか?
Okay, so I hate to do this. This will probably be the shortest episode in this chapter's playthrough, but we are going to end it here. This episode's going to release pretty much after I'm done with like a 6-hour long stream session for charity, which I do on a annual basis. I help out a team and everything. And man, I got to get to sleep. Like, it's only 7:20 in the evening, but I have to get up before 3 in the morning for a 6-hour session. I really picked a terrible time, but this will go up pretty much whenever I'm done with that session. So if you guys are watching this when it comes up, I will pretty much be dead. But if you're watching this way later on, I'll be back to life and all is well. And from what I can see so far, the charity event's going well. It's just, that's when my session is. Anyways, enough about that. Sorry for the short episode. I just got to get to sleep, but I wanted to record a little bit of this before I headed off for the night, only to wake up in the early morning. But thank you for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. There's some things I'd like to talk about that came up here that kind of piqued my interest, and I'll try to bring that up in the next one. Take it easy.